my prediction for the Philadelphia 76ers this season is that they will go to the Hey y'all, what's poppin'? Merry Christmas, y'all. Welcome to the third video of the Front Cover Podcast YouTube channel. I've got a logo now behind us. As you can see, it's Christmas. I got my elf hat, even though I'm 6'2", and once again our mascot is joining us. But today, as you can tell from the title, I'll be discussing why I'm scared of this Philadelphia 76ers this season. So, for the first part, it's Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey. Those are the first two reasons I'm scared, is because those are two key additions to their organization. Obviously, the front office and Daryl Morey, and Doc Rivers is the new head coach. But it's what those two bring to the table that is the first part that scares me, I guess, of this organization, this team, this franchise, the Philadelphia 76ers. So, Doc Rivers, great motivator. I think he'll really help Simmons and Embiid fix their weaknesses. And most guys on that team have some sort of weakness. Like, they've got a big strength, but they also got kind of a big weakness. Like Matisse Thybulle, great defender, not a great shooter or ball handler. Steph Curry, great three-point shooter, one of the best of all time, but he's a terrible defender. No offense, Steph Curry. If you're watching this, I apologize. Because, we that big now, right? Make sure to like and subscribe so we get that big deal. I think Doc Rivers is going to help. I guess there's kind of predictions on my part, but I think Doc Rivers is going to help Simmons shoot more. I think he can shoot. That maybe is a hot take. I don't know, but we've seen him shoot before, right? We've seen him make a few threes preseason. He hit one or two or maybe even three in the regular season last year. And while he does have some nights where he just looks like the worst shooter of all time, we've seen him hit threes before. In-game threes. Like, not wide open looks. Okay, well, kind of open looks, but okay, they were all wide open looks, but still. Most people can leave him open for the most part, so he'll get wide open looks, right? Joel Embiid's weakness, I would say, is inconsistency. Because we've seen the past few seasons, like, I think Charles Barkley and Shaq are kind of going at him about how some nights he's a 40 and 15 guy, other nights he's a 20 and 10 guy. Like, those are two very different players that we see on a night-to-night basis. So I think Doc Rivers is a great motivator, like I mentioned, so he can kind of motivate, obviously, Embiid to reach his full potential all the time. And before I get any farther, I just want to say that I'm a Celtics fan, so I don't necessarily want this to happen, but I still think it will happen. So, and at the end of this video, you'll see, where you'll hear my prediction for them. So stay tuned for that. So, yeah, I think Simmons will shoot more. I think Embiid will lose his inconsistencies. It's mostly on the defensive end, because offensively he loves to score. He loves to be the guy dunking on people, but defensively, like, I witnessed it firsthand when the Celtics swept the Sixers in the first round this past season in the playoffs. There were sometimes Kemba just got a wide open mid-range shot because Embiid just didn't bother closing out. And I think stuff like that, those small stuff, that gave the Celtics extra points, like every single time basically, because Kemba's a great shooter, and if he's getting wide open looks like 15 feet from the basket, he's not knocking down most of the time. So Simmons is a huge reason I think this team is going to be really good, because defensively he can guard 1 through 3, no doubts. The 4, most of the time, he can guard the 4 as well, especially for like smaller guys, because he's like 6'10". I swear he's taller than Al Horford, I swear. And I'll actually get into him in a bit later. But I heard some people say he doesn't fit with Daryl Morey. He's not a great fit for the Morey system, the three-pointers, because he doesn't shoot. But he was third in the league last season in generating wide-open threes. And I think he led the league in assisted three-pointers made, I believe so. He now has a great shooter again, Curry, Seth Curry that is, who shot 45% from 3 last season. He had J.J. Redick 3 seasons ago, and that team was lethal. The J.J. Redick, Joel Embiid pick and roll was amazing. Now Seth Curry's there, he shot 48.5% on wide open threes last season, and 48.1% on catch and shoot threes, and he'll get a lot of those this season. And then on the other side, well, not other side, but lesser scale, Danny Green, who, old man Danny, if you listen to the podcast, you know, he shot 37% from 3 last season in the regular season. Obviously, as the playoffs went on, he continued to as first round, second round, third round, and finals. He shot terribly in the finals. But last season, Green shot 36.7% from 3 on catch and shoot threes, and the same percentage on wide open threes, which is kind of funny. So he doesn't shoot threes yet. Ben Simmons, that is. But he's a great fit because he generates tons of layups and tons of threes. Like full court offense, he's one of the best in the league at just going full head of steam. He's passing you, dunking on you, all that stuff, kicking into the corner. So another thing is no Al Horford. So that kind of changed up the lineups a little bit. And the next few minutes, I will flash. Whoa. Pause. I'll show pictures. About right here, I believe, hopefully, future me, edit that in, of Horford's on and off stats, for instance. Actually, give me a second, I'll pull it up. Alright, so Al Horford's on/off court stats, or I guess the team stats while he's on and off the court. The picture that I'll show, the blue, every box that has blue on top and bottom of it is when the team is that amount of times the team is better when he's off the floor. So offensive rebound percentage, total rebound percentage, steal percentage, block percentage, offensive rating percentage. Basically all the negative stuff is going to be highlighted, and all that stuff is bad for the 2 or 5 players that is mentioned. So basically, that you can see that's a lot of negative stuff. It's a lot of negative stuff. So that's not great, but he's gone now and actually got Danny Green. So, and if you look at their 2018-19 starting lineup, you can see there's not that much negative stuff from its difference from average. And there's only 4 spots where this starting lineup that I'm showing right now was worse than the Sixers average throughout the year. And that was 2018-19 lineup with JJ Redick. Granted, they did have Jimmy Butler, but this one they had Wilson Chandler. And if you look at last year's lineup, there's, as I'll show right here, there is a lot more blue. And I did highlight the free throw percentage, which was a 0 net difference, but I highlighted it anyway, just to prove my point. So there's a lot more blue stuff. And speaking of rosters and combinations and stuff, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons work together pretty well, if we're being honest. And I'll once again show the picture of how the Embiid-Simmons duo works, but when these 2 guys are on the court, there's not that much blue, as you can see. So this is a pretty good duo, and while spacing sometimes looks terrible, it does work sometimes, especially if they start shooting. So in 2017-18, the Sixers had an offensive rating of 113.3 and a defensive rating of 97.8 when Simmons and Embiid were on the floor. And that was better than Giannis and Middleton this past season. The MVP and his all-star teammate wasn't as good as Embiid and Simmons in 2017-18. So we've seen a team like this work before. With Simmons, with Embiid, with a great shooter. Matisse Thybulle is going to be a great defender this season if he doesn't make All-NBA second, or not All-NBA. If he doesn't make an all-defensive team, I'm kind of be surprised. And this team is just going to be great. They lost in Game 7 2 years ago to one of the greatest shots of all time. And a team that actually went on to win the finals. So who knows, if that shot didn't go in and the Sixers won in overtime, maybe they wouldn't go on to win the finals. Who knows? Because the Bucks that season just, regular season wise, they're great. Postseason wise, not so great. So, alright, so now my prediction. My prediction for the Philadelphia 76ers this season is that they will go to the NBA Finals. Yeah, Maybe that's crazy, but they're on pace to go to the NBA Finals. So, comment below if you agree with me after all this discussion, and hopefully I was able to convince you. Noah Holford, better shooting. They lost some defense, but Matisse Thybulle, I think, is ready to step in and got some more offense. They're going to be a bit smaller team, but maybe a bit worse defensively, but they can still be a top 5 defensive team and a top 10, 15 offensive team for sure. And that's a great formula for them. So, hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, share as well. And I'll be back later on. This will be, I'll probably from now on I'll have like podcast stuff, like stuff I talk about in the podcast. So, and everything I do, link will be in the description. Articles, podcasts, videos, whatever. And I think right here, you'll find something. Right here, you'll find another thing. So press both those things. And we out. Peace.